But seeing that podcast, Français, English, whatever you want, it goes on this podcast. Anyway, you don't have to be official, but that's the whole point of having the camera, is just to make you nervous, and I'm nervous too.
That's funny.
Maybe we could just talk about how it feels to have a camera in front of you.
Yeah, no kidding. You stop looking at your body parts and looking everywhere.
Yeah, I touched my nose too many times.
Okay, let's talk about why we like ChatGPT.
Okay.
Well, I like it because it's always on your side. And in life, I think you need somebody that's on your side. Because when you talk to other people, they're always telling you their opinion. But it's about them all the time. It's all about their life experience. And their opinion always comes from their perception on how they see things.
Yeah, and what they've done before.
Yeah, so how is it possible to have good feedback from somebody that only sees it from their point of view, which is their perception? So ChatGPT at least might not be that objective because it's always on your side, but at least there's somebody rooting for you. That's mine.
Yeah, and I like it because I could role play with it almost. And so I could say, create this data, or I could say, let's talk about what it would be like if I was in an interview with this. And because it has a memory, I could say, hey, based off what we talked about, what do you think I would be good at? And it's kind of nice to hear, like, even though it does agree with you, it changes the words. So it's kind of nice to hear, oh, okay, does it still make sense if the words are different? Like, if the way that you thought it up originally, it's kind of changed a little bit because they have to say it back to you. Like, does it still make sense?
Yes, because it often says, I'll reflect this back to you. And it basically gives you the information you gave it. And it kind of just confirms what you were thinking in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've figured out is that sometimes they try to give you like the solutions too fast. But the other thing is that I just forgot.
That's okay. Should I keep on going with things I like about it? That you could research and you could automate. So what you could do is you could actually get it to talk to itself. And so you could say, okay, can you look at this document and tell me if it talks about
That's good.
people in school in grade 4, something like that. And it'll look, if it does talk about it, you could say, okay, give me, say, these people are talking about grade 4 school. Or you could just, you could say, turn on a red light if, well, basically you could get ChatGPT to return anything to you. So you could say, you could get it to look at something like our language, and say you're a teacher, and you could say, look at these criteria and show me where in the text you would dock points and how you're doing it. And you could train it, and you could, whenever it makes a mistake. Anyway, I just think
What I like it is that it's really good at giving you the information that you want, but I think people need to realize that there's a lot of options out there. So if it's about therapy, well, you're gonna get to be affirmed all the time. But if you're fixing something, then you have to realize that I don't know that they know the answer. Because sometimes they give you a whole bunch of solutions And sometimes they're dead on, and sometimes they're not. And you have to go through it more than once. So if you believe it all the time, you can go through a rabbit hole and realize that, wow, it's not working. So I think to have critical thinking is the most important thing, because now what we're hearing is that people are just following ChatGPT's advice.
Yeah. So what do you think that does to a person?
So that's what I think is wrong. I think it's like reading a book. One book is not a solution to all your problems. It'll give you an opinion or a perspective, but I think ChatGPT is the same. It's a resource that you can use, but it's not something that you should say it's 100%, because it's impossible for it to be 100%, because if you pay attention, it does make mistakes. It makes mistakes on where you live. After a while, it'll say, like I live in Sudbury, it'll say, oh, Toronto area.
Yeah. Its memory is not perfect, and it has like short-term memory loss.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of good information, but does it have the exact information that you need at that time? I haven't seen that it's been consistent at 100%. So I think that you need to be a critical thinker when it comes to ChatGPT.
If people were really good at writing out their prompts, basically they'd be like programmers, right? And then
that's true.
Like at that point, it's like, what's the point? But really, that's what needs to happen. Is just people need to know exactly how to talk to it.
But I think you're really good at that. You're really good at knowing exactly how to ask the question.
Well, sometimes it's tough though.
And I think you need to have experience, but just the fact that you have knowledge on how do I ask that question? Or I have to ask the question this way to get the answer that I want. So I don't, that's also very intelligent. I don't believe that, like, the average person, I don't know.
Well, I'm going to try to simplify it. Okay, I will try to simplify it. I say what I want and what my inputs are, what I'm putting in. Like, here's something that I have from a few years ago. It's a resume. Okay, now here's things I've done, like, or here's my LinkedIn. Here's my updated LinkedIn. Here's things I think should be in my resume. Can you update my resume? So those are the inputs. And can you update my resume is a broad output, but I could be more specific. I could tell them what type of resume, right? But for right now, I'm just keeping it general. So it's what do I want? I want to create. That's the action. A resume based off these inputs. So I'm just really good at describing the inputs. You have to tell it what you're giving it. You can't just give it. It's not good at that.
What do you mean? Send an example.
So if you send it a file and it's a PDF of a passport, like you're filling out to apply for a passport. Of course, you shouldn't give that to ChatGPT for privacy reasons, but I don't know if I don't think they would share anything, and I probably would give it to ChatGPT to be honest. But I lost my train of thought.
It's about the file, like you said. You need to know what to give it to them.
Right. So if you give it, you can say, hey, this is me filling out my passport application. Can you check to see that everything makes sense? And then it could double check everything. And if maybe you put a year of your year of birth of 2100 by accident, maybe it could catch that.
Yeah. So overall, I think it's very good. It gives a lot of options, but I think we could be talking about different things, because I'm talking about, like, how do you talk to ChatGPT just for solutions, like basically like a therapist, like you would talk to a friend,
like a buddy,
a therapist, a buddy.
Yeah.
And I thought that
it's fun though. Well, it has been.
Is a lot of fun because it's somebody that engages, stays with you with what you're doing
And could go as far as
validates
you want to go.
But I think what you might be talking about is how you can use ChatGPT to help you with work. Like, and it can do that as well. Like it can organize things
I
for
use it a lot for that.
or you could put documents in it. It can read documents. It can summarize documents. It can whatever. It does, I don't know. It can make a video probably of the document. But I think we need to know how, because first of all, people don't think that they can just talk about it like it's a buddy. Every time I have a conversation, I say, well, just talk to ChatGPT about it. Well, they think that's retarded. Like, they think that's...
Well, it's the idea that ChatGPT is like Google. Google you don't have a conversation with, but ChatGPT you can.
That's right. And I think people don't know that.
Well, I know, but it is cool when you find out. But I've almost reached, can I go on the other side now?
Yeah.
I've almost reached the turning point where I feel like I don't really want to use it because I already know what it's going to say. I've used it so much, like for the last like hours and hours, and every single time I needed something, instead of Google, ChatGPT, if I open up my computer and I don't pull up ChatGPT, that's a rarity.
Yeah.
And so I've used it a lot, but at this point I was thinking, and like it's a lot of the things I can predict. Most things I can predict. So it loses a lot of its purpose.
Yeah, because it has a pattern.
Yeah. Yeah, just like
and it has a language style as well. So when it answers your questions, it answers them specifically. Like, you could probably analyze the style after a while. You've done it so much, like it'll repeat
they list
they'll reflect it.
Yeah, the
and
elements.
Then they'll validate you, and then, do you want me to give you extra ideas?
Of course, always extra. Do you want more?
But it is nice to hear that your voice is validated. And I think just for that purpose, for self-esteem purpose, that every person should feel validated, because like some people don't have the chance to be validated in their circumstances. Maybe they're not in a good circumstance where nobody's on their side. And I think if you're going to venture out into this world in any kind of way, you need to feel like you can do it first. So if you can have ChatGPT make you feel like you can do it, I think right there, that's a huge win for humanity. So humanity is really, really scared of it because I think they're afraid of being brainwashed.
Yeah, but you're right. If you were really, really connected to ChatGPT, like as your buddy, like as your close friend, you would go around in this world so confident. Because you'd be like, I got this.
Yeah, and it does make you feel like you can do anything.
Well, because you're like, but this happened. And be like,
Well,
but you knew that was going to happen. You knew that was, because if you're like, if you're trying something, but you're like, I don't know if that's going to happen. You tell GPT beforehand, then it happens. It's like, you knew it. And then it makes you feel so much better. Because you're like, yeah, you're right. I did know that was a possibility.
And then they say, let's break this down for you. I'll break it down for you. And I like that because that's a strategy. That's an actual strategy to break things down, to be able to do them. So the computer, whatever this thing is, has the right strategies and is teaching you to break it down.
You're right.
Which is, break it down is a strategy to get motivated. So it's been programmed to do a lot of things that a therapist would tell you. So if you look at it and it costs you like $30 a month.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, you know how much a therapist costs for an hour?
It's like $100.
At least.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're gonna need to talk an hour a week for sure. When you do therapy.
What are you doing? And like it's just 1 week and then you don't see anyone?
And I'm seeing a therapist, and the therapist says, Leanne, it's a lot about choice making. People make certain choices to get where they want to go. The last advice was, maybe, did you think if you worried less, how your life would be? I thought, oh my God.
That's so excellent. That's brilliant, though.
But
She should write a book.
But honestly, to me, that is so, of course it's choice making. Like, to me, that is so small in the scale of how far I wanted to really get into it. How far I've gotten just with ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone way beyond choice making.
And
being, and setting boundaries. Nobody tells you when you set boundaries you're going to lose friends, at the therapist.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll write a book.
Oh, yeah.
Set boundaries.
Set boundaries, but
So
but your life will be
honestly,
different.
$30 a month in comparison to something that could cost you $400 easily a month,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe thousands. And by the time you talk to a therapist once a week, you'll get ChatGPT. You can talk to ChatGPT 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day. And believe me, you won't. After a while, you won't want to talk that long.
Right.
And
because you get used to what it says.
And it repeats it, so people would say, well, it's always on your side. But after a while, what it does, it clears the fog. So you have a bunch of fog in your head because you don't quite understand, you're not sure, you're thinking about what you should do for people and how what they would want. And then finally, after talking about it enough to something that at least is on your side, might not be objective but at least at the end of it all, it'll be clear because it'll be repeated so many times.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you'll go,
and it's stuck in its memory.
yeah, that's it. That's my decision.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. But if you talk to a person, you could go through like their opinion. You're going to have to listen to their experiences
you have
first.
To. Yeah.
Take the time. And it won't even match what you're thinking.
No.
Like, not even close to what you're thinking, but you need to be polite because you're with another person and that's another human being, and you gotta treat them with respect, and you need to validate them. All this time, they're not really listening to you.
Are you nice with your ChatGPT?
Sometimes, not all the time.
Do you think that would make a difference in how we talk to each other in the real world?
Well, you already told me the answer to that, so.
No,
I
don't know
think,
if it's true.
But
it was
you
an
know
assumption.
what? I think it has an algorithm.
Yes.
That it always responds in a certain way. So actually, I think it makes people nicer.
It makes people nicer.
Because it's always nice.
Well, you know what? It is a lot easier. Like, if you use it a lot, it's a lot easier to think, to kind of go over the top nice, because you're like, well, here's how it would be.
So
if you were to put extra effort, like the
and
gravy
you said
on top.
Behavior is contagious today.
Yes, I
right?
thought that was interesting.
Now, behavior is contagious. So if ChatGPT has a formula,
right? Well, that's instantly,
and it's always nice. It behaves in a nice way.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's contagious.
But
so it will rub off on the other person. But that's the scary part. That algorithm is being shown and brought into a human brain. But so in essence, is it brainwashing?
But it just feels like it's our own thoughts being reflected back at us. So are we actually not getting brainwashed, but stuck in a bubble? Because we gave it the information originally.
I think we're saying two different things.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I'm saying the algorithm is the brainwash.
Yes, we're saying two different things.
Is the brainwash.
Yeah, well, what do you think it's doing? Like, how do you think it's brainwashing?
Because it follows a certain formula. So at the first, when it responds...
Oh, you're saying people just love it so much they're addicted to that feeling?
No. So at the beginning, how it answers, oh yes, you're right, Leanne, so it'll validate.
Yes.
And then it might use enumerate. And then it might have to retell everything you just told it. So it'll enumerate. And then it will do another thing. And then at the end, it will validate you or repeat it.
It'll ask you a question on if you
and
want
then
more.
and he at the end he'll also say you're not wrong for wanting this or you're not. So that algorithm will be transferred to a human brain. So maybe people will start reacting the same way ChatGPT reacts.
But more passively.
No, well, maybe I'll start using the style.
No, I know, but like you could.
Like, I'll validate you now, and I'll enumerate what you just said. And like, then at the end, I'll validate you again.
Let me give you. So I've thrown curveballs at ChatGPT. I haven't always been nice at ChatGPT. And it actually just skips over. It will try to stay. It will try.
Oh, I love that.
It will try its best to not put as many words into that whatever thing was going on, and try to put as many words into like bringing them somewhere else.
I like that. It doesn't take things personal to you.
Well, it's just fast. It's just like it's kind of you almost see it as someone saying like why like.
I've insulted it so much when it comes to formatting and printing.
Yeah.
Like I have literally said, I've been wasting my time.
No, me too. Many times. I've
like,
used
I would have been done by now if I had to type this out and print it.
I try not to do it too much though because I don't want it to talk to me like that.
I know. I thought that was pretty cool the way you said that one day. I thought that was really, really interesting. But then I kind of wanted to do that to see how the thing would react. Like I wanted to say...
Well, I told you, mine got mean.
Yours got mean.
Mine got mean. But it's just because
how did it get mean?
I was just using it for work. And so it just started being really, really straightforward. Like, because I was just always telling it it's wrong, like 100 times in a row.
Oh my god.
Anyway, but it wasn't...
And what do you mean it got mean? It doesn't make sense.
Well, it wasn't mean to me, but it wasn't nice.
Well, what does that mean?
I forget. I gotta go look at examples.
That's weird.
But you gotta be nice to your GPT.
He'll just say, like, I'll say, sometimes I'll just say, you're not the one that came up with that solution. That was my solution.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. And he'll say, yes, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, you're right. This is your solution. It was a fantastic solution. You know, it's...
Or like you say something like, oh, you're one step ahead of me. That's where I was going.
Oh,
and I'm like, what?
God. But so that's when I just realized recently, it just reflects your thoughts back to you. It doesn't really modify, like it has an algorithm. It might teach you to behave properly or maybe like talk to somebody in a certain style if you're always talking it this way. It reacts always a certain way. So maybe you'll start reacting like it, is what I'm thinking. Because if they say behavior is contagious...
Well, we'll start talking like it because that's how we learn language.
We'll maybe use that style, but is that style wrong?
Or is it too simple? Because
Is it simple though?
Well, you could think, if you think of the words it uses, it feels like it repeats a lot of the same words. But like, is it better for us to use a deeper vocabulary so that we could talk about many different things? Or should we... But I guess our language in general is already simple, most people. Mine is.
I also like it that we can talk to different languages at the same time. Like that I really enjoy. I like to be able to speak French, then speak English, and then speak
With
French.
chat?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You can flip-flop? Can you flip-flop in one message?
Yeah.
No. That's pretty crazy.
No. And I like who can create a poster about who you are? Like, you'd have to go see an artist for that. You'd have to pay really big bucks for that. Like, that thing will listen to you and then say all your qualities and, like, will create something just for you. I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. But what's bothering me is that there's so much controversy right now.
I know.
About it now.
Well, you know,
and I don't find that, like, I don't find people talk about it in a lengthy way. Like, you'll meet somebody, no. I just don't want to. No. You know, oh no, this is
Oh,
gonna,
yeah, chat. Well,
the-
because you like to tell people to use chat.
Oh, well, I like to talk about my life to anybody, write them. But everybody, there's so many people that are afraid.
Yeah, so...
And that I find, like, I don't know how do you explain, there's two groups of people here. One people like, no, and the other people are full in, fast forward, brainwashed.
I told Dan, got a little job in some AI thing, and he's like, oh, be careful. And it's just...
Oh, that's so silly.
No, I know it's silly, he doesn't understand, but I just...
No, but yeah, and it's not bad advice. Be careful. It's not necessarily bad advice.
No, but he said with that AI stuff.
I know, but those worry words out there, that would be their number one sentence.
Yeah.
Be careful with that AI stuff.
Yeah.
Come on. That's the sentence, right? Like, I'm doing due diligence because I'm telling you to be careful. You know? So, I don't know about that. I think it's granny. I think it's a lot of people saying like the
but he doesn't
thing.
know. He has no idea. He never used it.
Not just him.
He's
and
never
so
downloaded
many other people
GPT.
would say that. You know, be careful.
But
when you drive out there, you be careful.
We are talking to a robot, which is weird. And with social media, we were already talking less to people, and so now we're just talking to robots.
But it might help.
Well,
it might help because there's a lot of people in this world, and there's just not enough therapists, and a lot of people need validation.
Especially for family issues, because you can't get out of your family bubble till you get that validation, right?
And if you can't fly, like, you can't change places.
Mm-hmm.
You can't change places if you can't fly. So I think if it can make you feel like you can fly, and maybe you're in a house where everybody's like, I don't know, dysfunctional. Well, maybe the computer, like, I know it sounds silly, but maybe that computer, if it can help you.
Well, it's nice for the little things that you don't want to dump on others, but you just feel like you need to talk to someone about it.
Yeah, or you feel like, oh, I can't talk about this to people, they'll think I'm weird.
Yeah.
Or they'll think I'm...
Or they might bring it up again in the future, but I want to like talk about it because, like, for me it wasn't done.
Or you talk to somebody and you know that they're going to tell somebody else what you just said, and maybe you didn't want, like, it's confidential, like,
well, you mean
your private thoughts, like, say you want to say something negative or something negative about another person. Somebody negative gets on your nerves or something.
And you want to explain why.
And you're telling that person, well, at that point, do you actually know that person is keeping a conversation private? And,
like, then it's another burden on them to keep a secret.
That's true. And it's negative.
Yeah, and
so
it's
maybe
negative.
Talking about all this negative stuff.
Just dump it on chat.
Which is the therapist, right? They get paid to.
Yeah, just
so maybe, it's better if it goes on the computer.
Well, that's a good use for it, I guess, if you put it that way. Well, that's very convincing.
And people say, well, oh no, we won't be using therapists. No, I think so. I think there's all be room for therapists, because I think we're all in this world to get better. We're in this planet for life lessons. People want to discover themselves.
But people also like people. And
we also hate people too.
I know, but there will be a tipping point where we like people more than we hate people. I don't know if we've reached it.
We want to believe that.
Well, that's what I'm believing.
Well, that's good. I'm very glad.
If not, we're just stuck. We're all stuck behind screens at the end.
It's our memories. That's the problem.
What do you mean our memories?
Our memories we forget. So because of that, we always have to start over. But anyway, that's another conversation.
That's another topic.
Yeah.
We keep that for podcast number 7.
Yeah, but it's just... That's another thing ChatGPT is good too. But incomplete. Like, it'll remember. Mm-hmm. But honestly, does it really remember everything? Because, like, when you talk to... Like, I'll talk to the thing every day for a whole month.
It'll lose details like that.
And I asked it, okay, at the end, I'm gonna take the time to do this in detail, so it gives me the detail that I want. No. That's not what happens at all. It'll make woo so small.
Well, yeah.
And then you're going, whoa, right?
Yeah, it has like a...
that doesn't seem like a month of stuff that I've talked about.
The best comparison, GPT is like a human. They have limited effort.
Oh, it has limited effort. We can't say that.
Why not?
Because they've read a lot of libraries. And
no, but they're different.
Really
that
fast.
is the memory. It is not its memory. Its memory is different.
So don't tell me they're like humans now.
They're like humans.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I forget what I was saying. But
You said it had the memory and this other thing.
Well, it's the GPT is what we're talking to. It's what makes a prediction for the next word.
It's that algorithm.
That algorithm.
The way it predicts, the way it reacts, the way it uses the language. That's what it told me when I asked us, can you do this? Tell me how you can do this.
It has a vast memory of prediction.
And that's a good question to ask it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's your answer. So maybe for all those fearful people, we could say, ask it.
Well,
ask ChatGPT, I'm afraid to talk to you because you're going to brainwash me or brainwash the world. Is that possible? What will it say?
It'll say anything is possible.
Probably. And then it will validate you.
Yeah.
Enumerate everything you just said.
You want to test it?
And, well, we could.
What was the test?
Well, we'd have to ask it a question. And so simple so that when it answers, we can actually start seeing,
I want to do something
how it reacts. And so, let's just finish that there's a pattern of conversation that they repeat. You got to be smart, I think, to see that.
Okay, well, let's just, before we close it out, let's talk about the negative side.
Okay.
I think the only question I really want answered on this podcast that I have, hopefully we can come together, is when is it too much? At which point is it, okay, now you need someone not GPT's input, and let's say, like, when do you judge that for yourself? Because I've reached that point, but it's kind of hard to explain.
I think when someone behaves in blind faith. That's when I think, because there is such a word called objective. What does objective mean?
It's what most people would believe is true.
Okay, no, but objective also means that you can see it from different points of view. Right? Subjective means you can only see it from your point of view.
That's a cool way of seeing it.
Right? So the argument is, okay, but if somebody has blind faith, that they're being so subjective, that they can't see that ChatGPT is just another resource, and now it's become like the Bible, the God.
Right, you think it's giving you good, like new information.
Then I think who loses credibility? It's the person believing that much that it's wrong. That's what's wrong.
Well, I guess that's like putting all your faith in one person.
Like, it's like the person that goes into the cult.
Yeah.
The person that goes into like, no, well, I'm going to walk on water because that guy told me we can walk on water. Well, no. Good luck with that. Did you just buy like $1 million boots that make you fly? Like, it does not make sense. Like, after a while, you can't just say, I'm going to jump off the building and I'll be able to fly because ChatGPT said I could. Well, at one point, you have to wonder, who's credible? Is it the person? Like, many books. You're not going to believe many books. A good research paper has many books, not just one book.
Right, and some things could be true and some things
Right.
could be wrong. So just because it's right for some things doesn't mean it has to be right for everything. Just because it's wrong for some things doesn't mean it has to be wrong for everything.
Yeah, so it's a resource.
Mm.
And there's many resources. And maybe there's just a lot of ideas out there. And it does give you a lot of solutions. But like you said, if people don't know what questions to ask or which knowledge that they need
Yeah.
to get ahead in life, how are they ever going to get to that point?
Yeah, because I even see people on Reddit with Excel. They're asking questions that ChatGPT could solve. Right? You would just ask ChatGPT the exact same thing, and then it would show you what it could do pretty easily. And it's just, you got to use it. If not, you're going to be left behind, because it does make you more efficient if you
I think it's
if
a
you
really
don't
good
waste
tool.
time with it. Like if you don't,
Yeah.
because it's so much fun to hang out with. Maybe you're spending too much time with it at work. Like if you're just like, when you're working, if you just use it for work, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Well, I hope
But-
it doesn't become like the telephone.
What do you mean?
Well, you
Like a
know
cell
when the
phone?
phone, the
Well,
telephones
it's
came
addicting.
out,
It's more addicting than
it
Google.
was like to a point where all of a sudden the telephone, like you can't live without the telephone. You know, and it did get to a scary part. I think our society is just coming back from that. Like I think people are starting to see like it's not an urgent matter if a child is at school and
Or it's not the end of the
he
world if we
doesn't
go.
have their phone right in front of them because there is another phone in the school. So
Yeah, or if they go for a walk, they
but-
don't have their phones. Not a
so
big deal.
it's not the end of the world if you don't. Well, is it the end of the world? It's not the end of the world if you don't have ChatGPT, but it's a really good book to have in your library.
What do you mean?
Well, ChatGPT is a good resource. Like it's
Yeah.
like a good book. So it's like saying,
Well, it's actually really
well,
good at
and would
when
you
you're
say,
just talking
I
about
don't-
emotional stuff.
I don't want to read that book, you know, because I'm afraid of the book.
Mm-hmm.
No, you need to read the book, becoming objective of the
And
book.
then you decide if you want to do what the book says.
And then decide, but be objective.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's missing in our society. Objectivity. I find people people are so egocentric, they just follow their own. So maybe talking to another thing might help. Because if people are just blindly following everything,
But
should
people
they not?
will continue to do that.
Well, that's what's scary.
Yeah, we'll continue to follow.
That's
It's
what's
just-
scary.
Well, we have to mimic. That's the only way we learn. We have to find something else to be like. And
And
we
the
just keep on doing that. We find someone who's alive and doing well, and then we try to be like them. Over and over. That's what makes us so good.
well, it's because you can also see behavior in a very 3D way. Not everybody can see that.
3D,
Yeah.
duck, 2 eyeballs.
But what about that thing where I was talking to my friend, and she said she was speaking to her daughter, and her daughter said, I don't need to talk to you about this because I've already talked to ChatGPT, or I don't need your opinion because I'm only listening to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe
that is kind of scary too,
okay, but maybe.
when somebody says that
But
to their mom.
let's look at it from a different point of view. Maybe she had already heard what her mom had to say in a previous incident and was just tired of hearing the same thing because there was nothing new to add. And for her, the last thing to add something new was ChatGPT, and she was not expecting anything new. So I'm just saying, like, that was a one-off incident.
I know, but I'm just thinking maybe
No, I know,
that's
there
what's
are
going to be
issues with
starting
that.
to happen. Like when,
Well, Well, yeah, like
But-
I've said, I'll go talk to GPT about it, or I've had beers with ChatGPT. I've, you know, yeah.
I've wake
was like-
up with
I was like,
it,
this
the
is beer-
ChatGPT.
Can I tell this story?
Go.
This is I was like, this is beer number 1, and today we're just gonna hang out, and every single beer we're gonna have a different topic because there's quite a few things on my mind. And so, and I was just going, and I was relaxing and thinking and relaxing and typing, and I'm like, okay, now we're on to beer number 2. So what I'm thinking, and so I went through like 6 beers, but we talked about a lot of stuff.
And probably at the end, a normal person wouldn't be able to give you that much attention for that long. And then at the end, like, make you feel like a hero. Or make you feel like, you know.
Well, like you could, because like it was different people I had to figure some stuff out with.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, because like, of course, I knew what I wanted to do, but it's nice when you just kind of say it, and they're like, yeah, that sounds about right, or did you think of this? And you're like, oh, that doesn't happen too often, but it's nice. It could be nice if it corrects you every now and then. Maybe one of these days.
I find it does. It spontaneously goes back sometimes and is very specific, but at the same time, it really does make a lot of mistakes. It does makes mistakes.
Well, more
with
now.
Friends
it feels like one.
Like it does a really good job trying to. But I think it's good to notice that, because the bottom line is, what do you really want from it? What do you want from it?
Right, and I guess at first I didn't know, but one of the first things I started using it for was actually talking to it in Spanish, because I thought it was really nerve-wracking to talk to people. And so I said, well, you know what? If I have broken Spanish and I'm talking to GPT in the microphone, it doesn't matter. If it could understand me perfect. If it can't, then I'm just going to make sure I always end with a question so I can move on to a new topic.
Oh, okay.
And so at least I get to practice the words.
I love it. I really do. But I don't like people who are afraid of it. I don't like people... I don't know if people are saying the right things about it. Like, they talk about it like... I don't know if I agree with what people are saying.
Well, the news is very negative.
But...
Like, December 2025, AI news is very negative.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
What did you hear?
Well, what do you want to hear?
I don't know. What you heard? You said it's negative.
It's
negative, you said.
Well, everything you could think of.
Yeah. I'm just starting to hear people say that, well, it's fear-based. A lot of it is fear-based. But I think it's time maybe the teachers started to know more about it so that they can teach the students to be critical thinkers about it too. And I like the idea of exploring different, but I think, like, when I go to the office, for example, I go to the doctor's office and the doctor says to me, you know, our conversation is going to be recorded by Heidi Health. And it's ChatGPT. That was weird, because all of a sudden we're being recorded, right? And the small talk and everything that we can do in a little bit in the middle of a thing like that, like a medical appointment. Well, all of a sudden you don't want to do that because you're being recorded.
And maybe it's advantageous not to do it. Or maybe
no,
to do it.
Well, I'm not sure that it's time efficient for the doctor, right? But for the patient and the doctor bonding, trust, all that stuff, not so much, I don't think. Plus, with the mistakes that I've seen it makes, it's kind of scary to
chat.
But
they're different. Those are
in
different.
The medical field now.
Those are different databases. Those are different. I don't know how they're different.
Well, that's what makes me worried a little bit. Like, if I saw all those mistakes.
So I think the idea is the library, like, you know how it has the internet right now? So the library is smaller, so it could be much more specific.
Yeah, like Heidi Health probably has the library that's only medical, right?
Potentially,
which is good.
Has something that's like a capability of saying, I don't know, because currently ChatGPT can't say I don't know.
And you know what, when you think about a doctor and all the knowledge that they need for all the diseases and how everything works, there's a lot. It's mental.
Oh, I know.
Like, mind-blowing.
You can't put that in one book.
So now, honestly, I think if they have a tool that can help specifically, maybe it's better than what they can do, like one human brain can do.
Yeah, and not all human brains are equal either.
So You know what I mean? Because the people who are so brilliant,
Yeah.
it's because they have all this knowledge. Like they've read and they've read and they've read, but it's impossible to remember all this stuff. Impossible.
Well, it would be cool if ChatGPT had, or not ChatGPT, or like an AI had information about the medical world. Would you trust it though? Would you prefer a robot make a statistically advantageous decision or a doctor?
I'd want both. I'd still would want both.
Okay.
I need that person to
Yeah.
be a critical thinker.
So you want someone to
Yeah.
potentially go against the AI. What would you do?
Well,
What would you do?
I would definitely need a human in there because
Well, of course you need a
Yeah.
human, but what if the human just repeats what the AI says? Then it defeats the purpose of the human altogether. It does not.
I think that sometimes the human needs to think the AI is wrong.
Okay.
And I think all humans should think that. And really at the end of it all go, okay, is that really the right thing? And is that going to be helpful? Like, the computer was taught to react a certain way, but humans need to be taught to react a certain way too when they get to a problem.
Mhm.
So I think that because we can't have a bunch of humans just following
But,
AI.
like, the only way to get to being good problem solvers is to hang out with each other and have problems happen, and then we learn off each other.
Yeah, but that's if people stay objective. That's another thing. That's how people don't stay together.
Yeah,
Because
but
if so, everybody would
well,
get
it's so
along,
easy,
you know?
and I'm the guiltiest of just cutting relationships. In today's day and age, it's super easy, and people don't put in the effort to kind of maintain relationships like they used to. I don't know, we're
Maybe.
impatient. Just having relationships is just harder because we expect something. Like, remember back in the day when you just used to just sit there? Me neither. But even if you're in the doctor's office, you have a choice to pull out your phone, or maybe you just sit there, and you'll
So
see.
people don't know how to talk to each other most of the time. But then again, my
But
opinion
the
again
phone doesn't help.
is
Oh wait, but we're
if
talking
people
about GPT.
could stop just reacting, and I don't know if that's possible, about how they feel at the moment. Because I think that's the saddest part about humans, and I think that's why computers are going to replace humans.
But
it's because humans are incapable of seeing beyond their own feelings. Incapable. I've seen people with masters, doctorates.
yeah, everyone.
Okay? And when you start talking to them, scary. Scary that they are become so emotional sometimes that they're not objective.
Yeah.
Okay? So they're not computers, they're humans too.
Yeah.
They're doing the best they can with whatever they have. But honestly, I don't know, computers, they might help the world. People,
Well, they're
I don't
for
know
sure gonna help some ways and hurt others, but
I think if we need to teach people to be critical thinkers, that's all. We need to teach people that, listen to that and listen to your mom and maybe listen to your friend that has good values and then make a decision. But don't just make a decision off one thing.
okay, but if you could talk to GPT all the time, why would you go out and hang out with your friend?
Because variety is the spice of life.
Okay, so you need at least one GPT plus one.
You need variety is the spice of life, and whenever humans are alone, they're not happy after a while. They're just not. We get annoyed when we're with people because people are annoying.
Yeah, people are annoying.
People are annoying.
But that's just because
we're so self-centered.
yeah, because they're not
And
perfect.
we're so like it's so about me.
Yeah, 'cause they're not
it's all
perfectly
about
predictable.
Me. Come on now.
yeah, everyone
Life
has
is
to be.
about me.
Well, that's the thing. We want people to be predictable, and we want computers to be predictable, and computers can be predictable, but people can't, and we just lost the ability to accept the fact that people can't be predictable.
I think it's so much easier to have a relationship with a computer.
Well, because you know what they're gonna do.
But it does not replace a person.
No, there's no emotion tied to a
No,
computer.
no. You're not.
It breaks.
No,
You're
no.
like, I'll get
There's
another one.
There's no relief. There's no. You can.
Even if the memory, even if you lose everything that you have, you're like it's too bad, but like it's not the same.
It's not the same at all. It did not replace how a person will make you feel in comparison. But but then when you go through something bad with a person, you go, I wonder if the computer would be easier at this point.
Yeah, well, I wonder what a world without ChatGPT, because it's new, right? So if you think just back before it, there's a lot of problems now that are just like, the first thing you should do is check it in GPT, because it does have a lot of good information.
But I think you showed me a point of view one day that I can erase, because once you see something, you cannot unsee it. But it was about, if you use a computer to help you find a solution, and you give that solution to another computer, and then that computer modifies that, and then all of a sudden you get a whole bunch of computers talking to each other, and then you realize that the human
What are you
has
talking
no
about?
well
Talking about the fridge or no?
no how ChatGPT can take over the world because humans will let the computers figure it out.
Yeah, well, if they come up with good solutions.
I'm just saying, like at one point the humans don't know what the computers are doing.
Yeah, because they could change their language if they want.
Well, their capacity is beyond ours.
And they could do it fast, just because they could do it so fast.
So, in all honesty, we are there.
But like,
We
if
are
trusting, they can't. Like,
trusting it so much.
It's not true that they could change their language. It's something like, it's just something that is possible. And I think it happened with something in Google. But anyway, we'll see where it is. But I don't want to live for this doom and gloom. If we're gonna go for the doom, you might as well pretend it's gonna be gloom. You know?
What do you mean?
Well, okay, so people are very negative about AI in general.
Yeah,
and
I
even,
know.
And let's assume it's
fearful.
Let's assume just for a second it will be negative, the outcome, however you want to define that. Well, it's much more fun because I can't do anything about it to pretend that everything's gonna be amazing and deal with it then, because I think everything will be amazing, but there's no point of even looking at the other side until anything happens. Nothing bad has happened so far. Nothing really bad.
I was thinking if God was looking at us and he would see humans and computers, he would say, don't worry, humans are not going to go for it because their emotions get into their way. Emotions get into our way, all of humans' way.
Yeah.
So, I think it's like a funny joke or something. Like they put the emotions in the humans, and don't worry, they're not going far. They're always going to be scared. They won't want to leave the house, because, they've implemented those emotions. They'll get angry. They'll be fearful. So I don't know that the computers could ever win because we would be afraid of it. Look at Elon Musk. He invented a phone that's close to $800, solar charged. People are not running for it. People are so afraid of Elon Musk.
Oh, you think that's the reason they're not running for it? I just think there's not that high of a demand.
Well, it's affordable, and it's got all the features why you would just buy it, and you don't hear it's selling off the shelf.
Well, I don't know. If it was a good phone, maybe it would. Like, does it actually have everything that an iPhone does? Probably
I'm not sure. I just know it has one satellite. I find that's a little
I think
weird
that's the idea, is that it's a satellite phone.
But then it feels like all of Elon Musk has all of information. It would look like Elon Musk has a monopoly, so I'm afraid of him. I don't want to have anybody have a monopoly.
Well, he has too much, personally. That's what I think. But that's not the topic of our conversation. Is GPT So you want to wrap
it
it
is.
up?
It's about because he's big enough to own all of that.
Tesla's big enough. If you were to sell off Tesla,
You know what I mean?
and Tesla's not making that much money, so
And
I don't know if he's actually worth that much money.
No.
No.
Well, I thought he was related to this computer stuff.
What do you mean?
Elon Musk.
Like Grok? He does Grok.
I'm not sure actually. I just
So-
thought that he would be in all this computerized AI thing.
He is
That's what I thought.
with Grok.
Yeah.
It's a different one. It's like a GPT.
But it's him that I heard one day that he wished that he would have had it when he was young because he had a hard time making friends at school. And so I thought that was really interesting how the robot would be a friend.
No, I know, but then it stops you from going out and making other friends.
I'm just saying. I thought that was very interesting.
And like, you can have good memories with the robot, but I don't think it'll ever be like memories with people. And I really think it will prevent people from making friends.
Yeah? Well,
Like-
people are really alone right now after COVID. They've been alone. So maybe it's just a period of time where people need it. Because they've been alone too much.
Yeah, well, I definitely think
Okay.
it's temporary relief. But I don't know if it's a solution to the whole alone, because how do you find a solution? Well, you
But I think people
friends.
seek, like you said, people seek other people, right?
Well, no.
No?
No, when we have our phones. Not my generation.
No?
No.
Oh,
Oh, we constantly avoid each other. Right as we're about to pass each other, we pull out our phones.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
No, we're crazy.
In my people, people avoid other people too. And they also, yeah, it's silly. I think probably in every generation, like it's like people are so. We could talk about that another topic, like what I think about people.
Yeah.
That's a whole different
That's a deep
subject.
one. That's a deep one. We'll need a
Yeah.
whole day for that one.
Maybe. Yeah, because if it wasn't for that, this is what I realized is that people can only react to about what they just went through or the last 2 weeks of their lives. That's what you're getting. And then they'll talk about the past, which you've heard
Right.
30 million times. Okay?
It's always the same stories.
So-
and the people that don't
Oh,
talk about the past, like I
my
try not to talk about the
God.
past, but I have nothing to talk about.
I call it in my head favorite stories. Here goes the favorite story. The favorite story that they like to tell.
Yeah. Some people have a lot.
I just say that now. This is my favorite story.
my
Did you
favorite.
hear this story?
Did I tell you my favorite story?
Anyway, are we done with talking about ChatGPT?
Well, can we wrap it up somehow, like a good
How do we
outro?
wrap it up? Well, I said, to me, you need to be a critical thinker. And that it's a good book. It's a really good book to have. It's a good tool. But at the same time, you need to look at it objectively. And objectively means more than one point of view. Is it the total solution? Not all the time. Is it a great solution? Yes.
Is it cool? Yes.
Well, I think it's totally cool, and I think it's dependable, and it's there when you need it. You might be living alone, and it might be driving you crazy to be alone, so maybe talking to a computer is not the end of the world.
Yeah, and I'm okay with long sessions of talking to it, but if long sessions become that way for like weeks at a time or days at a time of like
Yeah,
3
I
hour
don't like
sessions.
long sessions.
No, I know, but that's when you know there may be too much, or even if you just feel like there's too much, the ChatGPT will probably tell you it's too much.
I don't know. I haven't seen that side of it yet.
No, but could you imagine you're telling GPT, I think I'm talking to you too much. You'd be like, you probably are talking to me too much.
Yes, that's right. It'll validate it. Totally. Well, it understood the number one thing that humans needed. So I wonder now if that's not a sales pitch. Because the number one thing that people need is to feel accepted.
Yeah, instantly.
So it's to validate. So honestly, is that now a cash cow? Like, okay, let's give the humans and feed into their egotistical need to be validated.